Shara, and welcome to week 2 of middle grade May. Now, this week's theme is favorite heartbreaking middle grade novels, and I have a few to share with you. Most of them will probably be familiar to you, but I'm going to keep my descriptions to a minimum just because I don't want to potentially spoil anyone. With that said, let's jump right in. The first one is A Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett. And I don't know if this one is sad for everybody, but I know it breaks my heart. It follows a girl named Sarah who attends a boarding school, and Sarah is spoiled by her very wealthy father, but she ends up getting some devastating news, and with that news she learns that she's now penniless and she has to live in the attic and work as a servant. And for me, this one is sad because I can't imagine a child, getting this news, having her world turned upside down, and then kind of having to go through it all by herself. That just breaks my heart. I can't imagine doing that as an adult. So to think of a child going through all of that alone, it gets me. And the next book is Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry by Mildred D. Taylor. This is technically book 4 in the series, but this is the book that my box set starts with, and I can't show it to you guys because it's currently in storage. But this series follows a girl named Cassie and her family. They live and own land in the very heavily segregated Jim Crow South. And in this particular book, one of Cassie's childhood friends, TJ, starts hanging with the wrong crowd and making some pretty bad decisions, and those decisions end up having some pretty devastating consequences. And this book is one of my all-time favorites. I can still very vividly remember finishing it for the first time, and tears were streaming down my face, and I was trying to cry very quietly because it was the middle of the night and I didn't want to wake anybody up. But as sad as this book is, it's so impactful. It is a story about family and, rallying around the people that you love, and I would highly recommend this book, highly recommend this series. If you haven't already, read it, read it, read it. It's so, so good, even though it is so, so sad. Then I have Where the Red Fern Grows by Wilson Rawls, and this is the first book that I can remember ever making me cry. And it follows this boy named Billy. He's been wanting these dogs for a very long time, and he finally gets 2 dogs, and he names them Old Dan and Little Ann, and he trains them to be the best hunting team in the valley. And this is just one of those classic boy and his dog adventure stories, and it focuses on family and friendship and the love of dogs and how dogs love us and all of that good stuff. And again, it's super sad, but it really is such a good book, and I highly recommend this one. Then we have Bridge to Terabithia by Katherine Paterson, and this one follows 2 characters, Jess and Leslie. They get off to a bit of a rocky start, but they eventually befriend one another and become inseparable. They create this imaginary land in the forest where they live called Terabithia, and there they reign as king and queen. And this one is a good look at grief and loss, family and friendship and all of those things. And again, this one is sad, but it's so, so good, and the movie was pretty good, I think, so I would highly recommend this one. Then we have another book about a boy and his dog, and that's Old Yeller by Fred Gibson. And this one follows a boy named Travis, and he initially does not like Old Yeller. He finds him stealing a side of hanging pork from the family, and when he goes after him, Old Yeller starts to whimper and cry before Travis even touches him. And he wants to get rid of this dog, but his little brother, likes the dog, and he doesn't want Travis to harm him. So eventually Travis starts to love him and come to see that Old Yeller is strong and courageous and willing to protect the family from danger. And again, another classic story about a boy and his dog and the adventures that they go on. It's very much about family and love and all of those wonderful things, and it's another one that is so sad, but you don't regret reading it because it's such a good story and it is so well written. And the next book is Charlotte's Web by E.B. White. And you guys probably know what this one is about, but it follows a girl named Fern and her pig named Wilbur, and Wilbur ends up befriending a spider named Charlotte who ends up saving his life. And this is a book that I remember reading and thinking, why am I so emotional over these characters? But it's so, again, well written, and it's a classic story that focuses on family and friendship and all of that. And it's just, I can't even begin to describe how good this book is, and just how impactful and how memorable it is. And so if you've never read this one for some reason, definitely give it a try. The movie adaptation is good as well, and I can't say enough good things about it. Then I have one recent release for you guys, and that is A Monster Calls, a novel by Patrick Ness, and it was inspired by an idea from Siobhan Dowd. And this one follows a boy named Connor, and his mother is battling a very serious illness, and somehow Connor ends up calling this very ancient monster who comes to help Connor kind of process everything. And this was one that I went into very hesitantly because it was very hyped, and I usually don't like hyped books. But I picked it up from the library, and all I can say is this book made me ugly cry. I mean, I was sobbing. And this is one of those books that even if you've never gone through what Connor has gone through or is going through in the book, you can still get something from it. It's that good. And I watched the movie, and they did change some things in the movie, but the movie got the same ugly cry reaction from me. And this is just such a great story. I had to add it to my collection. And I can't say enough good things about this one. Definitely give this one a try. That's it for the books that I have today. If you haven't already, be sure to check out Akos's week 1 video where the theme was favorite middle grade characters. I will leave a link to that down in the description box. I am not sure, I can't remember who is doing week 3, but I will be sure to leave their information down in the description box as well, so that you can check out next week's video, which I can't remember what the theme is either. I'll leave it on the screen or down in the description box. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And until next time, guys, God bless.